Last class we completed language fundamentals. And so I'm so happy that many people have worked on yesterday topic and you have developed so many examples. That's wonderful. So continue your development. Okay, don't wait, don't stop. Okay, continue your development. Mm. So in the group, people have developed the code. Wonderful, nice. Subham Nirvan developed this code, real-time example code. Lata Reddy developed. Okay. So many people have developed the code. Okay. Please continue your practice. Don't stop. Choose different examples. Okay. Whatever the examples you are getting in your mind, what are the examples you are coming across, calculations related. Okay. You went to one tiffin shop. Okay. In tiffin shop, now you are giving the order of different tiffin items, and then he is collecting the money, and then that money is going to take some change from you and return. Just you try to go and um, try examples. Okay, you keep trying examples, and in those examples, what are the examples you started trying from here, daily every chapter you include in that one. Every day one chapter, one or two chapters completing, every topic you try to include in that chapter. I will teach with my own examples. You try to start working with your own examples. If you follow like this, then software industry will become very easy to you and you don't have any pressure life. Fine. So now I'm carrying the previous examples to the next chapter. In previous chapter, language fundamentals, we have identified one point. What is that? Read and store input values from other programs or keyboard. For reading and storing input values from other programmer or from the keyboard, first of all, I have to define variables, correct? To define the variables, I need what? Data types. First, I should create the variables. To create variables, I need data types. Yesterday, we have learned maximum two data types only we have used. Number one, int data type. Number two, double data type. Okay. Now we have so many other data types are there. What are those different data types? What the use of those data types? Now we need to understand. Is it clear? So that is from this slide. From this slide, the first topic fully to understand. I am taking you to the next chapter. That is data types. Okay. In this chapter, we are learning three sections are there. What is data type? What is the variable? What is an object? What is an object, what is a class, what is an instance, and the projects. First, we are going to understand data types related all points. Then following by, you are trying to learn literals, types of literals, Java 7 new features. Okay. And then further you are trying to learn type conversion, type casting, and type promotions. So these are the three topics are the most important topics for your entire Java journey. Not only Java, any programming language. So let's start first topic. What is data type? What is a variable? What is an object? Okay. First topic, data types, variables, objects. Look at here. So data types, variables, arrays, and objects. First we are learning, this is the section. In that, first we are learning, concentrating on the first word, data types. Now this is the complete details about this chapter, three sections. First, data type. First 7 points are related to data types. First 7 points are related to data type. Okay. And next points are related to variables, arrays, and object. And the last topics are related to project and then entry questions and complete list of OCJP question. Okay, fine. Let's start first point. Today we will try to complete this all points. If you are cooperated, then I can complete all these points easily. So carefully try to understand. First point, what is the need of this chapter? Tell me, what is the need of this part, this chapter? What the use of this chapter? What you are learning in this chapter? In this chapter, we are learning creating variable and object. Simple. In this chapter, what you are learning? Creating variable and object. Why? For storing value. Tell me. You wanted to drink water. To drink water, you cannot directly drink. You need what? Some container to store that water. Yes or no? We need some container to store the water. That's what container may be glass, maybe bowl, maybe bottle. Okay. Then next, in order to carry multiple bottles from one place to another place, I need another container. Some containers will store water. Some containers will contain multiple bottles. So bottle will contain water. Bottle is variable and water is the value. Now like this water, I want many water, multiple liters of water I want to carry. So then multiple bottles I am going to have. Then these multiple bottles to carry, I need one like a trolley. Okay, one box, let's say, one box. For example, if you see 1 liter bottles, some 10 bottles together, one box will be prepared. And that box we are taking from one place to another place. So this box is an object. In that box, bottle is a variable. In variable, water is the value. To represent the water, what type of water it is? Normal water, mineral water, more minerals water. Okay, the type of water represented by data type. Understand the flow? Data type, variables, objects. Object is nothing but multiple values storing multiple variables. Object is nothing but multiple variables memory for storing multiple values. Variable is a single value memory. So in this chapter, we are learning, in this chapter, we will learn creating variable and object type memory for storing single value and multiple values. Single value is variable. Multiple values memory is object. Now, immediately some people who learn Java in your academics, you may come with a statement. Sir, in my college, my sir told object is an instance of a class. Sir, but you are telling object is a multiple values memory. I don't understand. My sir told variable is a memory, object is a instance of a class, but your definition is different. That's why you people are in Ameerpet. That's why you are learning Java once again. Because your faculty has told you the definitions of the concept, but not the original concept. Okay, because somewhere in the textbook he by-hearted and that by-hearted statement is giving to you, but original statements are original meaning of the concepts has not given. That's why you have confusions, and again you join now Java again here. So that's why remove all your academic knowledge, throw it out, and then start learning my points. Make my own path in your brain so that every point will be cleared and whatever the wrong way you learn will be corrected. Okay, so now I'm just polishing the wrong things you have learned in your academics. So instance of a class is also right definition, but that will come at end of the chapter, not now. So first you remove a thought called a object is an instance of a class. There is no visualization what the meaning of instance of a class. Array instance means multiple values memory. The word instance means multiple values memory. I'm going more low level, not technical. I'm talking with the LKG student. LKG student don't know big vocabulary. LKG student know simple things. You don't have that much experience. So what is the object? If somebody asks what the visualization you should get, you will get visualization multiple values memory. What is a variable? Single value memory. What is the object? Multiple values memory. What is the use of this chapter? In my project, I want to store value. Sometimes I want to store one value, sometimes I want to store multiple values as a one group. Very, very important. Multiple values different, multiple values as a one group. I wanted to store multiple bottles as a group, then I need one box to group it. Okay, so what the use of this chapter, right? What is the use of this chapter? What are learning in this chapter? In this chapter we are learning creating variable and object memory for storing single value and for storing multiple values as one group. Okay, then next, to perform one operation we must store values in a program. Then tell me, who will allocate memory? Okay, to perform one operation, we must store values in a program. To store value, we must request JVM to allocate memory, right? To store value, we need memory. And that memory is created by whom now? JVM. Then JVM is responsible to allocate memory. Tell me, I am running one bakery, okay? Okay, HK Bakery. One bakery I am running, HK Bakery. So now, I am the owner of the bakery. I want some water bottles. Then how many water bottles I need? I should order na. Which company bottles I need? I should order na. What type of water bottles I need? I should order na. What the size of water bottles I need? I should order. 1 liter bottle, half liter bottle, paw liter bottle. Okay, 2 liters bottle. What type of water bottle? What size of water bottle I need? I must order. So that now that water bottle company will deliver those water bottles to my shop. So here HK Bakery is nothing but a program, and that shop who is delivering, okay, the water bottles is nothing but the owner of the water bottles is nothing but JVM. As a programmer, you must request JVM to allocate memory. We need to provide information to JVM about the type of the memory and the size of the memory we require to store value. Type of memory and the number of bytes we require to store value. Type of the bottle and size of the bottle. Type of the bottle is mineral water, high mineral water, low mineral water. Okay, there are different types of mineral waters are there. And what the size? Okay, 25 ml bottle, okay, or half liter 500 bottle, 1000 ml bottle. Okay, what size we want, we have to specify. Then only JVM can allocate memory for you to store value. So to allocate memory, we need to provide information to JVM about the type of memory and the number of bytes we require to store value. Hence, to specify type of the memory, number of bytes to the compiler and JVM, we need some concept. Tell me, what is the concept we use? What is the concept we must use to communicate with the compiler and JVM? Come on, second chapter. In second chapter, I told you there are some things are there we must use to communicate with the compiler and JVM. What is that? Keywords, right? So we must use keywords to talk to compiler and JVM about memory. So to specify type of the memory and the number of bytes to compiler and JVM, we must use some set of keywords. Those set of keywords collectively called data types. Did you understand my point? What is a data type? Completed. What the use of data type? Completed. I have covered 3 topics now. What the need of this chapter? And second, what is a variable? Third, what is an object? Fourth, what is the information I need to inform to the JVM and compiler to create variable and object? Fifth, what is a data type? Sixth, why data type? So totally 6 points I have covered here. In this chapter, we are learning creating variable and object memory. What is a variable? Single value memory. What is an object? Multiple values memory. What is the information we must supply to JVM to allocate memory? The type of the memory and the size of the memory. Okay, how can inform to compiler and JVM? By using data type. What is a data type? A keyword that provides information to compiler and JVM to specify the type of memory and size of the memory is called what? Data type. Okay, right. So look at that. How can we say this chapter data type is used for? We can say, hence we can say this chapter data type is used for allocating memory, for storing values in a program. Conclusion point, conclusion point. Hence we can say this chapter data type is used for allocating memory, for storing value in a program by specifying the required number of bytes and memory type, by specifying required number of bytes and memory size. Memory type. Sir, what the meaning of bytes? I'm not understand. Okay, hold it. Take the word. Tell me, how can you measure bottle size, water size? Okay, how can you measure liters? You can measure the liters, right? How can we measure the distance, kilometers? How can we measure the size of the fruits? Some fruits will measure on dozens, some fruits will measure on kgs. Same way, how can we measure memory size? Okay, memory size is measured on bits and bytes. Okay, bits and bytes. Okay, 1 byte, bytes, 4 bytes, 8 bytes, like that we will measure. So I'll give for more clarity in the next slide. At this minute, just you accept. Okay, the measurement. Okay, the measurement, memory measurement is bytes. That's it. Simple point, you remember. Then next, try to answer now. This is the basic idea about need of this chapter. Can I hope all you people got clarity why you are launching this chapter? As part of language fundamentals, we learn how can we develop a program. To develop a program, we need to perform 4 activities. First activity is what? Storing values. To store value, I must allocate memory. What type of memory? Variable memory and object memory. How can I allocate variable memory, object memory? That we are learning in this chapter by using the chapter called data types. So that's all about data type story. Then now let me move to the next topic. What is a data type and why data type? Just now I have complete. What is a data type? Bolo bolo. What is a data type? Data type is nothing but a keyword. 1 second. Data type is keyword. A keyword is a data type. Come on. A keyword is a data type, or data type is a keyword? There's a confusion. Student is a person, or person is a student? Student is a person, or person is a student? Keyword is a data type, or data type is a keyword? Data type is a keyword, or a keyword is a data type? Understand English. Is a data type a keyword? We have 51 keywords, 64 reserved words. In the 64 words, do you have any keyword called data type? No, no. Try to understand. English is very important. Here, English meaning is very important. Data type is not keyword. A keyword is a data type. Understand English. Understand English. Electronic device is not laptop. Laptop is an electronic device. A electronic device that is used for storing our data in the hardware devices and playing some movies and all is called computer or called laptop. Yes or no? Electronic device is not a laptop. Laptop is a electronic device. Tell me, data type is a keyword or keyword is a data type? Correct your statement. Keyword is a data type or data type is keyword? Come on. Data type is keyword or keyword is a data type? Mihi, it's a time you have to change your mindset. If you are not changing your mindset, and if you are not listening what I am telling, if you are not trying to understand what I am telling, okay, your life is going to become too much damaged. Okay, all have given wrong answer. After taking 2-3 examples, they have changed the definition to keyword is a data type, keyword is a data type, keyword is a data type. But you are repeatedly telling data type is a keyword, data type is a keyword, data type is a keyword. Tell me, Mihi is a person, or person is a Mihina? Huh? I'm giving one more example to correct your mind. Mihi is a person, or person is a Mihi? Respond, sir. Respond. Not responding. All other people are responding, that this person is not responding. He don't want to, all are responding, but he's not responding. He don't wanted to learn, I don't know why. Finally responded above. Mihi is a person. Here Mihi is a keyword. Person is a data type. It is a common word. Tell me, data type is a keyword is a data type. A keyword is a data type. Data type is not a keyword. Come on, okay? Try to change your mind. Try to listen what I am telling, okay? If you don't want to listen, you want to be in your own world, you want to give answers however you like, then slowly I am trying to ignore. Already I am ignoring you. This is the last chance I am giving to you. So if you're not utilizing this chance to change your mind, not listening what I am telling, then your life will be gone. And later, please don't blame me saying that, sir, you didn't teach me properly. I cannot, okay? I cannot teach properly. So change your mind. Listen what I am trying to tell. Again, you started telling, sir, I am a weak student, sir. Please help me, sir. Okay, I cannot help to weak students. I told you, na, lazy students, active students. Only there are two types of students. Yesterday I told you, lazy and active. Currently, you are a lazy student. Okay, you are. Okay, all people try to focus. I tell you now, I'm not going to listen your bad statements, negative. Think yourself. What examples we can take? Think yourself. So don't try to, fix your mind with something. Okay. What is a data type? A keyword that is used for creating variable or an object memory, variable or an object memory for storing single and multiple values as one group in a program is called data type. So data type is a generalized word. For example, I am going on the road. Generally people say, Babu, hey, Babu, hello, Naina, hello, Babu, hello. Okay. What is the generalized word when I don't know your name? Generally people say, hello, Babu, right? That hello, Babu is what? Data type. If my friends know my name, then they don't call me as hello Babu. They say Ray Hari. Okay, that Ray Hari is what keyword? A keyword that is used for creating a variable or an object memory for storing single and multiple values in a program called data type. Everybody got clarity on this statement? All people got clarity? The word data type is a common word, generalized word. Now the next question. Tell me, can I say every keyword is a data type? That's why the name data type came. Every keyword is not a data type. There are some set of keywords are there which perform an operation to work with memory. Okay, that is called data type. Now a keyword that is used for creating a variable or an object, a keyword that is providing information to create variable and object memory is called what? Data type. So if you want to call a keyword is a data type, it should exhibit some characteristics. What is that? A data type keyword will provide below information. Okay, what are the informations? Come on, tell me. First information is what? Size of the memory. How many bytes of memory should allocate? Number two, type of the memory. Integer type, floating point type, character type. Okay, type of memory. Okay, and then next, third, type of the value and range of the value allowed to store in this memory. Type of the value and range of the value allowed to store in this memory. Is it clear? Tell me, once you create a variable, okay, variable memory ready. Okay, type of memory ready, size of the memory ready. In that memory, I want to store value. Which value I should store? If I create, okay, a variable, which one I should store? Integer value, floating point value, character type value, true false boolean value, string value. There are different type of values are there. Look at there, I mentioned already. Type of the memory, which type of memory? Integer type memory, floating point memory, character type memory, which type of memory should allocate. Then if you create memory of integer, which type of value you can store? Integer type. If you create memory of floating point, which type of memory or what type of value you can store? Floating point. If you create memory of character, which type of value you can store? Character type. So now this data type should not only specify size and type of memory, should also specify the type of the value and range of the value allowed to store in this memory. For example, I created a bottle of 1 liter. Tell me now, 1 liter bottle I created. What type of value I can store here? Water. Okay, drinking water. So drinking water, water of what type? Drinking water I want to store. So this drinking water is nothing but type of the value. How many value? What the range? Range of the value? 1 liter only. So the memory size is 1 liter. You can store either 250 ml or half liter or what? 1 liter, 1 liter. Okay, up to 1 liter you can store any range value. Then who should specify type of the value, range of the value? Data type only should specify. Did you understand my point? Simple point. Okay. Then next tell me. Now, okay, now I am taking water bottle. For what are the operations I can use this water bottle? Okay, what are the different operations I can do on this water bottle? So nothing but what are the different operators allowed to apply on this memory? You created a memory. On this memory, what are the different operators we can apply? What are the different operations we can apply? For example, I take an int type variable. I can add with value 10. I can find it is less than 10 or not. I can find is it equal to 10 or not. So these are the operators allowed. But I cannot apply AND operator to 10, cannot apply OR operator to 10, cannot apply ternary operator to 10. Okay, there are some operators you are not allowed to apply, you are allowed to apply. That which operator allowed, which operator is not allowed, that point is also informed by whom now? Data type only. Okay, then next, what is the result come out from an expression? For example, I'm writing 10 type value, a variable of integer plus f variable of it, what do you call float. Then if you add 10 plus 10.5, what type of result will come out? Float type value, float type result will come. So the result type comes out from an expression when we use this memory in an expression. Whichever the keyword provides above informations, that keyword is technically called as data type. So can I call every keyword is a data type? No. A keyword that provide information for creating a variable or an object memory, for storing single and multiple values in a program is called data type. So then what are the information that data type keyword should provide? These are the 5 information. Whichever the keyword provide above 5 information, that keyword is called what? Data type keyword. We can call that keyword as data type. Something that is walking on the road using 2 hands with the body, walking on the road with the 2 legs, having body with the 2 hands, 1 head, eyes, nose, ears. Okay, then we call that thing is called what? A person. Right? Something going on the road with 4 wheels, with horn sound, engine sound, then we call it as what? Vehicle. Something that is going on the four legs, running behind you, attacking you, killing you, eating you, is called what? Animal. Okay, so like that, a keyword, if you want to call a keyword is a data type, it must exhibit these 5 characteristics. For example, byte, short, int, long, etc. are data types. And I'm giving another data types: public, static, if. Tell me, public doesn't specify size of the memory, static doesn't specify size of the memory, if doesn't specify size of the memory. They are not meant for memory allocation, so compiler will never consider them as a data type. Hence, in the data type place for creating variable, if I use public, static, if, compiler will throw error. These are not keywords, they are not data type, sorry, they are not data type keywords. So did you understand what is a data type and what the use of data type? Everyone comfortable? All points are there in your Xerox material. Every point is there in the material. If points are not there in the material, I will tell you either to write notes or to take screenshots or something. But don't concentrate on taking screenshots or something. Concentrate on listening and replying. Try to speak loudly. At your end, try to speak loudly. I want to listen your voice. I want you yourself listen your voice. Okay? Then now we completed first point, need of this chapter. In this chapter, we are learning to create variable and object memory to store single and multiple values as a group. What is a data type? A keyword. Why data type? Provide information to create variable and object memory. That keyword we call what? Data type. Now we will need to move to the next topic. Types of data types, their purpose, and the hierarchy chart. I'm going little fast. Already coming? I'm going little fast. All are you comfortable with the speed? All are you comfortable? Come on. Today we want to complete at any cost. We need to complete data types topic. That's why little bit fast I'm speaking. Please try to catch my point. Try to speak along with me. Speak loudly. You know that benefit of speaking loudly, we have two benefits. Benefit number one, 100% you will understand. Okay. Benefit number two, 100% you don't get unnecessary questions and doubts. Only you will concentrate on listening and receiving what I am explaining. Your mind will not be deviated. If you speak loud, your mind will not be deviated. Advantage number three, your father, mother are there with you because you are there in the class, in the home. Okay, your father, mother is watching you, listening. When you are speaking louder, your father, mother listening, they will be very, very happy. They'll get happy feeling. Last 22 years, I never see you are this much active in the class. Then your father very happy and give you pocket money more. Your mother very happy. Your mother will give you some wonderful tasty food to prepare for you by evening. Yes or no? And advantage number four. If you start understanding subject, because you are speaking loudly, definitely will understand. Once you start understanding subject, you will get an interest of preparing more, practicing more. Okay, practicing more, going through the websites, spending the time on Java. More examples you will start developing and posting in our Facebook group. Then slowly your friends will start appreciating, giving more likes, giving more comments. And in the class also, I'll start using your name. Whoever active more in the class, okay, I will start using your name in the class. Okay, then advantage number 5, because you are this much talented, because you are speaking day by day, subject is increasing your mind. Okay, confidence is increasing your mind. When you attend interview, damn sure you will get the job. First interview is the last interview. And if I got any references from your senior students, I remember your name. Directly I will refer you. I'll send your name, send your resume to your seniors. Okay. This is the advantage. 5 advantages are there. Speaking louder your side. So you want to take these 5 advantages, sit properly, take your pen and paper. Okay. Take your pen and name and start practice it. Okay. So that you will get job easily. If you don't practice along with me, you are wasting your time after class. Is it clear? Then let's continue the class. Tell me now, types of data types, their purpose and hierarchy chart. Now below. Now let me move to the types of data types. Different types of data types. Sir, here onwards, you take any chapter. Data type, types of data type. Variables, types of variables. Method, types of methods. Like that. Okay, you can start it easily catching all the points. Okay, every chapter will be there. The one word, types of that words. So different types of data types. Tell me, guess. How many different types of data types are there? How many types of data types are there? You misunderstand. I am not asking how many keywords are there. Keywords are 8. I'm asking data types of data types. What the use of data type? It is used for creating variable memory, used for creating object memory. Try to understand. I am not asking how many keywords are there under data types section. I'm asking question, how many types of data types are there? I want to create memory. I want to create object memory. How many types of data types are there? We have two types of data types. What are the two types of data types? Java supports two types of data types. Number one, primitive data types. I'll catch my point. What the data type name called? Primitive data type. Second data type name. Come on. Everyone should tell. Second. Primitive data type. Second one. Array, user defined to predefined data types are who created, Nana. I'm not asking based on who created. Primitive data types. Next one. Excellent. Wonderful. Non-primitive data type. Excellent. Wonderful. Marvelous. Whoever told you non-primitive data type, after class completed, go and murder them. Okay. Java doesn't have non-primitive data type. Java has referenced data types. The word non-primitive data type is wrong. There is no non-primitive data type. Okay. Primitive data types, referenced data type. Why I have not told you this statement? Because many colleges, many lecturers are telling primitive data type, non-primitive data type. Many websites and many many books are telling that primitive data type, non-primitive data type. So many places are there. That is a wrong statement. There is no non-primitive data type. We have primitive data types and referenced data types. Maybe in C++ you may call it as a non-primitive data types, but in Java we do not have that terminology. Okay, just I am joking. Go and murder them. Don't murder them. You will be in the jail. Okay, I want you to be in software industry. Just I am joking. Okay, when I say commit suicide, when I say okay, murder them. Just I am joking. Don't take seriously. Okay, Ari sir told commit suicide. Let me go and commit suicide. Don't commit suicide. Ray, I want to see you in the software industry, na. You join in the class for software industry purpose. Okay, na? Sometimes I will joke. Some statements I will give you joke point of view just for fun. Don't take very seriously because your batch is very serious batch. What is joke? What is seriousness? Nothing you know because you are growing like that. Sari is joking. Sari is seriously telling. Sari is scolding. Sari is angry. Okay, you don't have any difference. You grown like that. Your life is like that. For any small disturbance also, for any small scolding also, hey, if your mother or father is shouting, Ray, you shouted me, let me go and commit suicide. Father, mother saying, oh, sorry, no. Okay, requesting you. Yeah. Okay. If I am your father, when you say I will commit suicide, first I will murder you. I will cut your hand, not you cutting hand. I will cut your hand. Murder, commit suicide. I will only first cut your hand. Come on, I will bring one knife. Come on, take murder. Now take yourself, commit suicide. Come in, I will see how you will commit suicide. Stupid fellows. 10th class, 9th class, one student committed suicide because in online classes, maths is not understanding. Because maths not understanding, commit suicide. If you commit suicide, maths understood. Faculty scolded, commit suicide. Mother scold, committed suicide. Father scold, committed suicide. Lover breakup, committed suicide. In only one solution, commit suicide. Are a tumri fellow, if you commit suicide, this life is gone. Next life you will become what? Dog. You will born as a dog. As a dog, you cannot commit suicide. Na? Animals never commit suicide. Only human being have a facility to commit suicide. Next birth, you will come back as a dog, as a street dog. You know, street dog, how much they are suffering for the food? Useless fellow. Time to time providing the food to you. Time to time providing food to you. Facilities are provided. Then now you want commit suicide. That's what Java supports. Two types of data types. Primitive data types and referenced data types. Don't use non-primitive data types. Any faculties are using the word non-primitive data types, immediately down in the chat window you type reference data type and he will scold you. Array, useless fellow. Non-primitive data type, reference data types, both are same. Where? in C++ language. Okay, in C++, maybe you are calling as a non-primitive, but in Java, there is a no terminology called non-primitive data type. I don't want to make Java mixing with C and C++. All catch my point? We have only reference data types in Java according to Sun Microsystem. So just strictly I'm following Sun Microsystem terminology. Okay, Java supports two types of data types, primitive data types and reference data types. Come on, tell me, primitive data types are meant for creating what? Variable or object? Come on, guess. Primitive data types are used for creating So primitive data types are used for creating a variable for storing one mathematical value. Next, tell me, reference data types are used for creating, excellent, object for storing multiple values as a group. Right? Then now the question, for creating variable, for storing one mathematical value, for creating object, for storing multiple values or objects, how many in the coming classes? They are not suitable to learn in the data type chapter. Their purpose is different. Let's start. Java data types hierarchy. Are you ready? I wanted to list out all the data types. Java data types are divided into two parts: primitive data types and referenced data types. Primitive data types are called base types. Reference data types are called derived data types. Why they call derived? Why these called base? I will tell you later. Okay, I will tell you later. Don't ask now the question. You cannot understand. First, let me complete this chart, and by end I will tell you why reference data types are called derived. Primitive data types are further again divided into two types. Two more levels are there. One more level is the two types. Why? Why primitive data types are divided into two types? Primitive data types are meant for storing mathematical values. Mathematical values are divided into two types here: numeric and non-numeric. Okay, mathematical values are divided into two types: numeric and non-numeric. Okay, now next, under numeric again we have two types. Observe now, integer is a numeric, floating point is a numeric, character in Hare Krishna, H is a character, A is a character, R is a character, I is a character. Do you know character means, right? In Hare Krishna, the word called Hare Krishna, each letter is a character. Tell me, character is a numeric or non-numeric? Many people are feeling that non-numeric. I was also earlier feeling as a non-numeric, but it is a numeric. Char is a numeric. Okay, how it is a numeric? Observe now. Single quote A, if you take as a character, it is a character. Now it can be represented as a integer. Okay, it is represented as an integer by the value 97. This is called ASCII character and it is called ASCII number. ASCII character, ASCII number. There is a match. You can convert character as a number, number as a character. That's why character also comes under numeric. Everyone understand that? Okay, character is also a numeric value only, not non-numeric. So now primitive data types are meant for representing mathematical value. We have two types of mathematical values are there: numeric and non-numeric. Under numeric, we have again two types, integral and floating point. For the level number 3, integral and floating point. What the meaning of integral? Integral is again divided into two types. What is that? Integer and character. Both integer and character together are called as what? Integral. If somebody asks, tell me what are the integral data types? What is a integer and character? Okay, tell me what is the integer data types? Byte, short, int, long. Okay, now byte, short, int, long comes under integer. Under character, we have one data type, char. If somebody asks, what are the integral data types? Then you should say byte, short, int, long, and char are the integral data types. What are the floating point data types? 2, float and double. If somebody asks, what are the numeric data types? Then you should say 7, byte, short, int, long, float, double, char. What are the integral data types? 5, byte, short, int, long, char. What are the integer data types? 4, byte, short, int, long. What are the character data types? Only 1, char. What are the floating point data types? Float and double. So these are the general common terminology people are using. Tell me, non-numeric data type, only one you have, that is Boolean. Give me 1 minute. Every time I am forgetting to correct it. Okay, non-numeric data type, how many are there? 1. That is a Boolean. Now, try to answer all the people. How many primitive data types are there? If somebody asks, how many primitive data types? How many? 8. 8, not, you should not, you should not talk about these hierarchies. These words are just for grouping. You have to talk directly these 8. Okay, na? How many primitive data types are there? 8. How many numeric data types are there? 7. How many numeric data types are there? 7. How many non-numeric data types are there? 1. How many integral data types are there? 5. How many integer data types are there? 4. How many floating point data types? 2. How many character data types? 1. Okay, na? How many non-numeric data type? 1 billion. Like this you should answer. Okay, then tell me, how many reference data types we have? We have reference data types. Non-numeric 1 anna, only play anna. Reference data types we have 7 totally. I have not mentioned here abstract class and final class. You know, right? 6 types of classes. Interface, abstract class, concrete class, final class, enum, annotation. Okay, I mentioned only 5 here, but under class we have 2 more, totally 7. We need to understand only array and class. So this is the complete hierarchy. Can I hope all the people got some idea? Now, what is the data type? A keyword that provide information to create a variable or object is called data type. A data type is provide 5 informations. Number 1, type of the memory. Tell me, If I create byte or short or int or long data type variables, what type of memory created? Integer value storing memory. If I create variable with a float or a double, what type of memory created? Floating point value storing memory. If I create a char data type variable, what type of memory created? Character type memory. So if I create a boolean, what type of memory created? Non-numeric true false storing memory. Okay now? Then next what it should give information? Size of the memory. Okay, size of the memory. Tell me, if I create a variable with data type byte, for example, if I write here byte in a program, if I write byte b1 semicolon, then memory should be created, memory represented by rectangle box. Okay, this memory should be created based on tell me not data type na, how many bytes of memory allocated? 1 byte. If you take short, how many bytes? 2 bytes. If you take long, how many bytes? 4 bytes. If you take long, how many bytes? 8 bytes. Understand? Data types size is represented by multiples of 2. 1, 2, 4, and 8. Can I hope all you understand? Float, if I use a float data type, it will occupy 4 bytes of memory. If I create a double, if I use a double data type, it will occupy 8 bytes of memory. And now tell me, sir, if I use char, how many bytes? Come on. If I use a char data type, how many bytes of memory allocated? Okay, all people are bringing C language into Java. I told you don't bring C language. Java take 2 bytes. Okay, Java take 2 bytes of memory. Many of you people are telling C language data type size 1 byte. No, Java takes 2 bytes of memory. Why Java takes 2 bytes of memory? Next slide you will understand. Hold the question. I don't want to talk now. Next slides I will explain. Okay. And next, what is the size of boolean? Boolean is meant for store true or meant for store false. True or false wanted to store. Then to store true or false, the size may be 1 bit or maybe 1 byte. 1 bit is sufficient actually, but maybe JVM wanted to occupy 1 byte minimum memory. So that's why Sun is not specified its size. Size is not specified. You have to, okay, JVM will take care the decision how many bytes of memory allocate. As a programmer, it's not specified. JVM will take care of how many bytes it's required. Is it clear? The next, what the size of array and class? Array and class are reference data types. Reference data types are used for storing multiple values as a group. Then what is the size of array and class? The size is fixed? No. Byte, short, int, long, float, double, char, boolean. These 8 primitive data types are meant for storing single value. So their memory size is fixed. But array and class meant for storing multiple values. Size is not fixed. For example, you take your books bag. Now you didn't put any bag inside. Then its size is almost 0. Now, if you put one bag, size increase. 2 books, 3 books, 4 books, 30 books, size is increasing now. It's all depending on the number of values you are storing. Size is depending on number of values we are storing. Okay, reference data size is not fixed, it's number of values you are storing. So this is the complete details about Java data types and their hierarchy. Can I hope all you understand? Open material, Xerox material 2. Page number 10. Page number 10, data types, variables and arrays and objects. 16 points. Need of this chapter. What is a data type? Why data type? For example, for example, take a byte b equal to b1 equal to 5. 5 is a integer value allowed. 5.0 not integer value not allowed. Double quotes ABC not integer value not allowed. True not integer value not allowed. Different types of data types. Two types. Same hierarchy diagram. Where is AORO? Where I have used the words. Where? Arithmetic operators, relational operators, equality operators, bitwise operators. Operators. It allows arithmetic operators, relational operators, equality operators, bitwise operators, but doesn't allow logical operators. This above 5 points, just I am taking in byte data type. On byte data type, I just take an explanation. And B1, B2, B3, B4 are called variables. Byte is called data type. 5, these are values. And this is a memory representation. B1 is a name. Okay. Everyone got clarity? Yeah? Shall I go to the next point? Now I have a question. Next question. From this hierarchy. Okay, first, before going to the next one, first you recollect, just visualize, close your eyes and visualize the hierarchy ones. Based on this hierarchy only our entire Java is based. Close your eyes, try to speak along with me. First, what are you seeing? Java data types are divided into two types: primitive data types, reference data types. Primitive data types divide into two types: numeric and non-numeric. Move your hands. Show your hands, right side, left side. Numeric data types divide into two types: integral and floating point. Integral again divide into two types: integer and character. Integer data types are totally 4: byte, short, int, long. Character 1. If I use these 8 data types, now they store type of value in how many size, how many bytes of memory size. So byte will store integer in 1 byte. Short will store integer in 2 bytes. Int will store integer in 4 bytes. Long will store integer in 8 bytes. Float will store floating point number in 4 bytes. Double will store floating point value in 8 bytes. Char will store one character in 2 bytes. Boolean will store true or false by specifying by JVM. JVM will allocate memory. Size is not specified. Maybe it will take 1 bit or maybe it will take 1 byte. And if you take array or a class, we can store multiple values, but size is depending on number of values we are storing. Okay, so that is a visualization you need to get. Now, I have a question. Carefully think. I want to store integer. Why do we have 4 data types? One data type sufficient. Based on the type of the value, okay, I want to store integer, 1 data type. I want to store floating point, 1 data type. I want to store character, 1 data type. I want to store true, false, 1 data type. What is that? I want to store integer, shortcut int. I want to store floating point data type. not float, double. Okay, I want to store what you call a character, char. I want to store boolean, boolean. These 4 data types are sufficient. Then why do we have additional long data type, short data type, byte data type, float data type? Why these 4 additional data types are given? Simple point, observe. I want to store value called 5. If I store this value 5 in int data type variable, okay, int data type variable, it occupying 4 bytes of memory. Listen carefully. For storing this value 5, just 1 byte is sufficient. Why I need 4 bytes of memory? Additional 3 bytes of memory, time waste, I mean memory waste. Na? For example, you want to travel from your native place to Hyderabad. So to travel, you need 1 seat is sufficient, but you are booking, 4 seats. You are booking 4 seats. 1 byte and 1 seat, 4 bytes and 4 seats, assume here. Then tell me, remaining 3 seats money waste na? Click on raise button. Did you understand? So why you are wasting memory? You want 1 byte? Buy only 1 seat. You are traveling 4 people, then buy 4 seats. Now tell me, here to save memory, int is not good. We have to use what? Byte. Short. Okay, now byte and short data types are given to save the memory. Next point. I want to store my mobile number 90104545584. I want to store my bank account number 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 1 0 1 2 3. I want to store my Aadhaar card number, credit card number, debit card number. Okay, then tell me, this is a large number. Okay, the large numbers to store, int is not sufficient. I need long data type. 8 bytes memory required. To store the 8 bytes memory, okay, I need long. So tell me, byte and short long are given not based on the type of the memory. Based on type of the memory, we have these data types. Based on range of the memory, range of the value, type of the value and range of the value. Based on the type of the value, we have these 4 data types. Based on the range of the value, to store lesser value, byte short. To store highest range value, long. To store less floating point number, float. Everyone understand? Right. Now moving to the next point. Why do we have 8 primitive data types and 5 reference data types? Nothing but 7 reference data types. Based on the type of the value and the range of the value, Java supports 8 primitive data types. The data types int, double, char and boolean are given based on the type of the value. Int for storing integer, double for storing floating point, character for storing char value, boolean for storing long values, true and logical values, true and false. Whereas the additional data types, byte, short, long and float are given based on range of the data. For storing lesser range value, we have byte, short, float. For storing larger range values, we must use long. Are you catching my points? All are you comfortable? Now take this hierarchy diagram, look at here. This is the mathematics. According to maths, okay, according to maths, we have floating point, character, conditional string. Now some sample values 10, 20, 30 are integers. 10.0, 20.4, 30.7 floating point. Single quote A, single quote B, single quote C, single quote has, single quote 1 are characters. True, false, conditional values. Double quotes A, double quotes B, double quotes sorry. These are what? Strings. These are the mathematics. These mathematics values are supporting purpose. In Java, we have data types. For integer, default data type is int. For a floating point, default data type is double. For character, char. For boolean, boolean. And then why we have additional byte to short to long float? These are the additional data types for safety purpose. Okay, like a range of the value. You are coming to Hyderabad. You are staying here only 1 day. Then how many pairs of clothes are required? 1 pair is sufficient. Okay, but you are additional taking 2-3 pairs now. Next, you need just 1,000 rupees sufficient. But in addition to 1,000, you are bringing more 2,000 to 3,000 for safety purpose. No. In Hyderabad, who will give you money to you if you need? In Hyderabad, who will give you more clothes if you need? That's why some excess, additional, okay, future purpose you are taking. Like that, Java is also provided additional data types for different purposes. So final conclusion, based on the type of the value and range of the value, Java supports 8 data types. Then we have already 8 primitive data types. Then why do we have 5 or 7 reference data types? Array, primitive data types are meant for storing one value, but I want to store multiple values. Okay, for storing multiple values as one group by using single name reference data types, we have array, class, interface, enum, annotation. Okay, now I didn't mention here abstract class and final class because both are belongs to what type class only, na? That's why I didn't mention. By default, a primitive data type variable can store only one value at a time. But in projects, we must store multiple values at a time. In this case, we must use referenced data types. Hey, come on. You wanted to distribute, 10 bottles. Okay, you want to distribute 10 bottles to HK Bakery. Then tell me, now this particular supplier, bottles supplier, how he is supplying? Is he supplying by his hand? Can he hold 10 bottles by using his hand? No. Click on raise button. What he is doing now? Now he is placing all these 10 bottles inside one box. Na? First bottle, second bottle, third bottle, fourth bottle, fifth bottle, sixth bottle, seventh bottle, eighth bottle, ninth bottle, 10th bottle. All 10 bottles are placing inside one box, packing this box and delivering this box to HK Bakery. Okay. So if you wanted to collect multiple values as a group and want to send from one place to another place, then what I required? Reference data type. And no, now this HK Bakery people are has ordered only one bottle. Only one bottle. Then the box is required or not required? Not required. Directly bottle will be sent. That's simple. So primitive values are meant for creating variable memory to store one value. But I want multiple values to store, then I need a group memory, that is reference data type. Then why we have 7 reference data types? Okay, reference data type understood, to store multiple values. Then why do we need multiple reference data types? Why I need multiple reference data types? For storing multiple values of same type, for storing multiple values of different type. Sometimes I want to store same values, sometimes I want to store different type of values. For example, I want to take a let's say Honda company, right? Honda company, and I'm taking Bajaj company. Bajaj company is only manufacturing bikes, but whereas if you take Honda company manufacturing bikes and also manufacturing cars. Then this Honda company wanted to supply both bikes and cars to Hyderabad showrooms. Then I need one lorry, L-O-R-R-Y, lorry, container lorry. Now this container lorry, I need to carry both bikes and cars to the Hyderabad. Whereas if you take Bajaj company also required one lorry, for container lorry for supplying these, bikes. Then this container lorry arrangement is what? Same type of values storing arrangement. This arrangement is what? Different type of value storing arrangement. Are you catching my point? So we have 2 types of containers are there. Same type of value storing container, different type of value storing container. That containers are created by using what? Referenced data type. So if you want to store multiple values of same type, we use reference data type array. If you want to store multiple values of different type, we must use the data type what? Class. So then what is the use of enum? What the use of enum? What the use of other data, other reference data types? That we will see them later. Okay, you cannot understand at this stage. Coming classes I will explain. Everyone understand? Why we have 8 primitive data types and 4 reference data types? Can I come to with a summary, final summary? Can I come up with a final summary with the knowledge? Tell me. Where the programs are running, in hard disk or in RAM? Programs are running in hard disk or RAM? RAM. In a RAM, program is running and occupying memory to store data. In a RAM, program required memory to store data. I'll give you 3 options. You need to answer. This data is single value. This data, multiple values of same type. This data, multiple values of different type. Then what is this memory type? For storing single value, this memory type must be primitive variable. Come on. This memory must be primitive variable. For storing multiple values of same type, which memory I should use? Array object. Should not say just array, you must say array object. It must be array object. Next, I want to store multiple values of different type. Then what should I use? Class class object. Should you are giving half answer. Class object, primitive variable, array object, class object. This is the final summary should come to your mind. This diagram, if you remember, you can play with Java. Java not playing with you. You can play with Java. Rara Java, Chidugude, come on, Pro Kabaddi. Pro Kabaddi season starting now soon. Along with the IPL, after IPL, I guess, after IPL, Pro Kabaddi will start. Can I hope all people got clarity on this topic? Need of this chapter. What is a data type and why? What is a why data type? Types of data types and their purpose. Explanation on each data type. We'll discuss that. First, you should have this clarity first. If you have this clarity, then I can take you to the next level. Now, let us try to more analyze. I just given you overview picture. Let us more analyze. Explanation on each data type, comparison with the C language, because most of the people are learning Java from the C point of view. You know, after I entered into market, still there are so many faculties are there who are following the old style. After I entered into market, I have changed people mind. Learn Java as Java. Don't learn Java from C or C++. You know, if I teach English, I will teach English from English. I don't teach English from Hindi. I don't teach English from, you know, what do you call Telugu. If you learn English from Telugu, you will get English. If you learn English from Hindi, you will get English. Okay, so very, very danger. Don't learn English from other languages. You'll become Tinglish, and English you will learn, not English. Always you should learn English from English. Then you will learn English. Okay. You know, when you wanted to learn, if you want to speak in English, how did you learn your native language Hindi? What is the language you have learned earlier? Bolo. What was the language you learned earlier? Nothing. Hindi before you didn't learn any language. Telugu before you didn't learn any language. You learn one language. What is that? Ba. Right? You learn one language, ba. Now also ba. Not abba jabba abba. You know, many people, many students, many faculties are having a feeling you cannot learn Java without C language knowledge. If you learn Java from C language, you are not learning Java, you are learning C Java. All C terminology, C programming will come to Java. You are losing the real flavor of Java. Real flavor of Java. So it's very, very important. Learn Java from Java. Learn any language directly from that language. That means your thinking process must be in that language. For example, you want to speak in Hindi, sir. Are you searching for the words? What to speak next? What to speak next? Are you thinking about the grammar? No. You are not thinking for the grammar. You are not thinking for the words. Fluently, coming, and that too correct grammar, correct words, correct meaning coming. But if you want to speak in English, then immediately you will start questioning. Here, what should come here? Isa, wasa, warra, hava. Here I should use present tense, past tense, future tense. Okay, I should write here woulda, hava, hadda. What should I use here? You start questioning yourself, what I should put here. Then first you are preparing the statement in Hindi or in Telugu, translating to English. Finally that become English grammar. No, it become what? Hindi grammar statement, Telugu grammar statement, finally become English. Are you following my point? So learn any language from that language. Don't try to bring a thought from Hindi. Don't bring a thought from Telugu to learn English. You should generate English thoughts. Tell me, last 1.5 hours I am talking in which language? Come on. Last 1.5 hours I am speaking in which language? I am speaking in Java English language. I'm not speaking in Java. I'm not speaking in English. I'm speaking in Java English. What is the meaning of Java English? Vocabulary is Java. Grammar is English. Data type, a keyword is a data type that provide information to create memory for storing value is called data type. A is English. Keyword Java. Is a English. Data type Java. Grammar is English, but vocabulary is Java. Do you understand? Last 1.5 hours, without searching for the grammar, without searching for the vocabulary, I fluently speaking. If you ask me to speak in Java for 24 hours, continuously I'll speak without stopping. Okay? Because my mind is having that much vocabulary. My mind is not thinking in Telugu, thinking in English, thinking in Hindi. It is thinking only in Java, that's all. A huge vocabulary there in my mind. I can know how to adjust them. Last batch, one student was there in English, Telugu. He don't know English. He didn't understand English. He don't understand English. So he came to me and asked, sir, can you please teach in Telugu? Sir, I'm not understanding. Okay, I accepted. Okay, maybe if I teach in Telugu, maybe understand. I tried to teach in Telugu, but without my knowledge, I went to English again. Only 1 or 2 words speak in Telugu. As a Telugu native person, I'm unable to speak Java in Telugu because Telugu vocabulary not there in my mind. Only English vocabulary there in my mind. Already catch my point? So people who wish to learn English, learn from English only, not from Telugu. Sir, can you please suggest me, sir? I want to learn English. How can I learn? Use Hello English app. Okay? There is a app called Hello English app. Just follow it 1 month to 45 days. Totally 36 lessons are there. Just follow 36 lessons complete. Daily 1 hour you keep. You book the, even what do you call, you fix the slot. You fix the slot for 1 hour in your free time. 45 days course, English, spoken English is course. 45 days you spend in Hello English app. That's it. You will get fluent English, wonderful English. Only Hello English app is sufficient, Baba. 45 days. You can fix from today. Today, every day, 1 hour, you fix the time. 45 days, just follow. 36 lessons or 37 lessons are there. Along with the lessons, side you have conversation button. Conversation, one button will be there. Click on that conversation tab. Menu tab will be there, conversation. There, 1 hour, you English, na? Half an hour learning English, half an hour speaking in English. Pronunciation also very important. That is showing the pronunciation, how to pronounce. If your pronunciation is wrong, the word pronunciation is wrong, it will show you in red color. And there is a button called repeat. Click on repeat button. Again, you repeat. How I improved my pronunciation? Little bit. Okay, little bit good my pronunciation. You know, some native speakers, English native speakers are attending my classes, foreigners. And also some people are watching my YouTube videos and they are given a comment down. I felt very happy. We are not finding any difference from, you know, we are not finding any difficulty to understand his English. He's speaking like a native speaker. We are understanding very nicely, wonderful. I felt very happy by listening that comment. It's all because of that, you know, English app. So now again, I am restarting. It's a challenge. Okay. Again, I'm restarting Hello English app. Some days, almost some 1 week maximum I followed. After the busy schedule, I'm unable to follow. Now I want to improve my English. I want to give competition to my son. He's now dominating me. So I wanted to improve my English. So I'm start following again Hello English app. So I'm going to give the competition with you. Okay. I'll start teaching English also soon. Okay, soon I'm also teaching English, Java and English, both spoken English. HK spoken English. For free, no money, don't worry. HK spoken English. I'm going to teach soon, get ready. Along with Java, we'll also improve our English. Free cost. You know, Hare Krishna means free. All essential things I'll give free. Join for main course. It's a required essential course I will teach free. Telugu also, na? I don't have. Generally, Telugu, generally people will not learn. Only Telugu people learn Telugu. Only apps will be there for learning Telugu. No, Telugu states, there are no much companies, na? There are books for learning English, books for learning Hindi, books for learning Tamil, books for learning Kannada. If companies are there, you are here coming to learn, doing work, then you will have some apps. Okay, so I hope you got clarity on today class topics. Today I'm stopping session here. It's sufficient. And please try to read the points. And tomorrow, no class. Next class will be on Monday. Okay? Next class will be on Monday.